Hello dear students, as you know, myself Mahesh Prasad from Department of Physics. So today we have already started up with a chapter called as Mechanical Properties of Solid. So under this particular topic we will discuss, that is a kind of interesting topic which you can see on the board, that is elastic or modulus elasticity, correct? So before we start with this particular chapter or this particular topic, I'll ask one question. So we'll start up with our class with one nice questions. See here, I have one steel wire and here I have a rubber band. So which one is more elastic, do you think? Whether steel wire or rubber? So keep this particular point in your mind and you will get the answer in this particular video. Okay, we'll discuss one by one. So here the topic which you can see, that is the modulus elasticity. So in the previous class we discussed about Hooke's law, where Hooke's law which says what? Within the elastic limit, the stress is directly proportional to what? Strain, correct? So similarly, here also within the elastic limit, I can say where E, which is represented as the capital letter E over here. So within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. If it is so this is nothing but it is a ratio of stress divided by strain I can have. Okay. So this is the formula I can have with respect to modulus elasticity. So what is the formula I can have, or what is the estimate I can have based on this particular modulus elasticity? Do you think is there any dimension with respect to strain over here? No, because strain is nothing but fractional change in length, correct? Or a change in length with respect to the original length. So if we have a length, it can be related to what? Meter. So if we have a meter by meter, it is get cancelled over here. So it is a dimensionless quantity. What is remaining over here? The remaining is only the stress over here, correct? So what is the SI I can have? The SI unit, which is equal to the SI unit, I can have Newton per meter square. So whenever we are dealing in terms of modulus elasticity, I can directly go with what? That is the Newton per meter square. So similarly, you can have the dimension formula as well, that is mL to the power minus 1, that is the d square. So similarly, under this modulus elasticity, since we have discussed three different types of stress, three different types of strain as well. So by taking the help of these three quantity, we will get to know there are three different modulus elasticity I can expect, or modulus constant. Okay. So the first one we can have, that is Young's modulus. The first one we can have, that is Young's modulus. So Young's modulus, which is nothing but, which is represented by a letter Y over here, and it is a ratio of, that is longitudinal, that is the longitudinal stress divided by longitudinal, that is the longitudinal strain I can have, correct? In the sense, for example, if one wire which is stretched over here, if this is the length of the wire, for time being length of the wire as here, which is nothing but initial length of the wire, which is nothing but initial length of the wire, and if I apply a load at the end, which means the force which is acting in downward direction, so what happens? There is a slight increase in length, we can call it as delta L over here. So if we have some kind of scenario or situation, we can directly go with the what is the stress I can have, that is nothing but F by A, which is nothing but a restoring force per unit area. When the force which is applied normal to the surface, that is nothing but a definition of what? Which is stress? Longitudinal stress or normal stress, correct? So now, what do you mean by longitudinal strain I can have over here? What is longitudinal strain I can have? That is nothing but delta L divided by L over here, correct? Now the question comes, the question which I raised in the beginning, which is more elastic, whether whether the steel wire or whether the rubber band. So now you think and give me the answer by yourself. So this I can rewritten as what? That is y, which is equal to what I can have over here. That is F by A into that is L by delta L. Now this is a F and this is a delta L. Delta L which means we got over here. There is a change in length. What about F over here? Now among these two quantity or among these two objects, which require more force to deform its particular body, whether a steel wire or whether a rubber band? Which means if I apply a same force in sense, for this also if I apply a 5 Newton and for this also if I apply a 5 Newton, which is going to stretch more, which is going to give a more change in length, obviously, and this is going to take a more change in length, correct, than this wire. Now you look into this particular equation which we got. So as you know, if denominator keep on increases, will you get a lesser value or a smaller value over here? So obviously, if denominator keep on increases, you are going to get a less value, which means since this particular rubber band is getting a more stretch or a more change in length, so obviously the elastic constant is very less. So it means modulus elasticity of a wire as well as a rubber band among these two, which is more elastic, you can find over here. So obviously your steel wire, this steel wire is having a more elastic than your rubber band. Are you getting? It is not that your modulus elasticity or which is a more elastic, it is not depends, it is not like you can directly decide which is more going to stretch, in the sense which require more force to stretch a particular body. Based on this particular quantity, we are going to decide which particular material is going to have a more elastic constant. Are you getting? Yeah. So what is your answer now? Among these two, which is more elastic? Obviously the steel wire is more elastic than this rubber band. So this you keep it in your mind. Normally they used to ask that kind of question, okay? And this is one thing. Now if I take the area of cross section as if I take in terms of a wire, so obviously it looks somewhat like this. That is this wire. Since we are applying a force to its area of cross section and it appears like a circle, so area also can be written as what I can write over here, that is y, which is equal to F by y into r square into L divided by delta L. So this is how exactly we can use your Young's modulus over here. Okay. So this is how exactly we can directly go with y is equal to F by r square into L divided by delta L. So the next one which comes, that is the bulk modulus. That is bulk modulus, and this is indicated with the letter B over here. And this bulk modulus, which is also called as the volume modulus. Okay, don't get confused by using the term bulk in the sense the kind of volume. Okay, so bulky material, bulk material. Okay, so now what would be the formula or what would be the relation I can have with respect to strain with respect to strain over here based on your bulk modulus? It is very simple, right? So bulk modulus I can have which is equal to, which is nothing but volume or bulk strain. It is the bulk stress divided by bulk strain. Or else we can do volume stress divided by volume strain, nothing but the same over here. So which means if I have a sphere somewhat like this, initially it was having a volume as V, then when you subject it into water, so obviously what happens? The force which is acting uniformly on the surface, correct? So force which is acting uniformly on the surface, what happens? Decreasing volume will take place, correct? So decreasing volume will take place somewhat like this. and obviously there is a delta V which represent what? Which is nothing but decreasing volume, correct? Yeah. So obviously what I can write over here, V which is equal to, which is nothing but bulk stress, I can have F by A divided by bulk strain, I can have delta V by V. So altogether V which is equal to F by A into that is V divided by delta V. Okay, so this is how exactly I can have, or else sometimes they used to ask this F by A, which is nothing but pressure as well. So this is also we can take it as V which is equal to pressure divided by delta V by V. So this is also possible. And one more relation we have, that is the pressure which is equal to rho GH divided by delta V by V, where rho is the density of the material, where rho is called as density, where G is the acceleration due to gravity, as well as H which deals with the height. Okay, for example, you take one sphere or sphere ball and which is subjected or dipped into the water. So what happens there? What are the quantity which comes into a picture? So whenever we are dipping into the water, you are supposed to take density of the water, and when you dip that same sphere ball into the water, at what height you have dipped, at what height you put that particular sphere over there, that gives your height, and G obviously it is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, yeah. So this is how exactly it is over here. And now you can take a minus symbol as well for representation. What's the representation of minus symbol over here? Whether volume is increasing or decreasing over here. Obviously, whenever we are dipping any sphere into the water, what happens? The decrease in volume will take place. So if we have a decrease in volume, I can have minus symbol over here. So this minus which indicates decrease in dimension. Okay. So this is how exactly it is. That is the bulk modulus over here. Okay. And the next one we have, that is rigidity modulus or shear modulus. That is shear modulus. And the representation of a shear modulus, I can have G over here, or G or eta as well. G or eta, because in a different reference books you are going to get different terms. For time being, I will use the G as the shearing modulus. Okay? Yeah. So I can have G which is equal to, obviously it is a modulus which is nothing but fractional change in stress by strain. Since it is a shear or shearing or a rigidity, correct? So what I can have over here, that is nothing but shearing stress, that is a shearing stress divided by shearing strain over here. So this is how exactly it deals over here. So what do you mean by shearing the stress? I can have once again, it's like if you have object or rectangular shape object. So whenever you apply a force tangentially, so what happens? Slight variation will take place with respect to its changing position, somewhat like this. Correct? So one angle comes, when one angle comes into the picture over here. So what happens? So if it is the height over here, and if the total length initially it was L, so what happens here? That is the delta L or delta X. If the total length is X, there is a slight change in related displacement with respect to a fixed point, right? So what happens here? That gives shearing strain we can have, that is theta is equal to delta X divided by X. And this was a shearing strain we had, or a tangential strain we had. Now, G which is equal to shearing stress, once again F by A divided by theta I can have. So this is how exactly it works, where theta is the shearing strain or tangential strain. Okay, so this is how exactly it works. Okay, yeah. So all what about its SI unit? What is the SI unit of all these modulus? Once again, I can have that is nothing but Newton per meter square, and here also SI unit Newton per meter square, and here also Newton per meter square. Similarly, because strain is not going to have any SI unit, correct? Because strain is a dimensionless quantity, because its numerator as well as the denominator which is get cancel out each other. So these are the basic concept we need to know about modulus elasticity. Like how many modulus elasticity we have? Young's modulus in terms of a change in length, and bulk modulus in terms of a change in volume. What about the last one we studied, that is the shearing modulus in terms of change in position or relative displacement of the particular body with respect to fixed point with the height. So this is what exactly we need to study about this modulus elasticity. Okay, now we'll see about a few numerical after this particular concept. Yeah. Well, dear students, based on our topic which we have discussed so far, that is three different types of elastic modulus, that is the Young's modulus, shearing modulus, as well as bulk modulus. So these three modulus we have studied so far, right? So based on that, we'll solve some numericals so that you'll get a better idea about a particular concept, correct? So there is one numerical which you can see on the board. We'll try to solve that. So there is a steel rod. There is a steel rod with something look like somewhat like this. Okay, and this is a steel rod. Okay. Of a radius, and that particular steel rod is having a radius of 10 mm, which means the radius which gives 10 mm. Okay, that means small r. And it's having a length of 2 meters. So initially it was having a length of 2 meters. Then what happens? And which is stretched with the force of 100 kilonewton. Kilo means 10 to the power 3. So when at the time of applying the force, what happens? Elongation will take place. So that elongation of the wire which comes up to somewhat like this, which is stretched up to, which is nothing but a change in length. We got that is 3.2 millimeter. So 3.2 millimeter we have got. Then find the stress. Find the normal stress. By stress as well as Young's modulus over here. So what is the formula we have for a normal stress or longitudinal stress? That is a normal stress. So we have which is equal to, that is F by A, right? Now area of the wire, which is nothing but the force which is applied across its area, which means pi r square. So it is equal to F by, that is the pi into r square. So altogether what I can have, F we have, that is 100 into 10 to the power 3 because it is kilonewton. So divided by pi into, where r is used as 10 into 10 to the power minus 3, the whole square. So altogether what we are going to get, that is so altogether 3.18 into, that is 10 to the power 18 Newton per meter square, and this is the stress I can have. Now your job is to get what? That is Young's modulus. What is the formula we have for Young's modulus? That is longitudinal stress divided by longitudinal strain, or normal stress divided by normal strain. So we have y is equal to, that is F by A divided by delta L divided by L, which is equal to F by A. How much we got? That is 3.18 into 10 to the power 8 divided by, what is the change in length you have got, elongation you have, that is a 3.2, that is 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 3 because millimeter it is, divided by, what is the length we have, that is a 2 meter, that is a 2 meter over here. So altogether we are going to get, that is 1.98 into 10 to the power 11 Newton per meter square, correct? So this is how exactly we are supposed to solve if you have a numerical somewhat like this, to find Young's modulus as well as a stress over here. Now we will move on to the one more numerical which is there on the board. There is the upper surface of the cube, which means So initially your job is to take one cube, somewhat like this. So there is a cube somewhat like this, which is having the edge of 1 meter. So edge is 1 meter. So 1 meter, 1 meter all the side, which moves through a distance of 1 meter of a relative to the lower fixed point of a surface, which means you are applying the tangential force, so that what happens, which is the upper surface is moved slightly with respect to the lower fixed point. So what happens here? It looks somewhat like this, correct? So there is one angle theta comes in the picture over here. So how much it is moved? That is 1 mm. That is a delta x, and height is 1 meter. So find the tangent with the tangential force of this much, which means you have applied the tangential force somewhat in this direction, so that there is a relative displacement with respect to lower fixed point with the 1 millimeter. Okay. Now calculate the tangential stress. What is the formula we have for tangential stress? That is nothing but so before we get to this formula, we have tangential stress or shearing stress. That is the shearing stress we have, that is F by A, correct? Now what is the force which is acting over here? That is the force we have, that is 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 divided by, what is the area of the cube? I can have 1 into 1, that is 1. So divided by 1, we can have 1.8, 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 Newton per meter square. Now your job is to get what? Shearing, I think rigidity modulus or shearing modulus. So what is the formula we have? That is G is equal to, that is F by A divided by theta, right? Now what is the theta I can have over here? We have tan theta, that is a tan theta, which is equal to, here we have opposite by adjacent, opposite we have 1 mm, that is 1 mm divided by 1. What is the formula? What is theta I can have? Since this angle is very small, so theta I can have, theta is equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 1. So substitute those value over here, you will get the answer. That is nothing but 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 0.001. So altogether 1.5 into 10 to the power 11 we are going to get. So 8 plus 3 is 11, that's right. So what is the unit we have? Newton per meter square. So this is how exactly we are supposed to get the answer with respect to get what? Shearing modulus or tangential modulus or rigidity modulus. Nothing but the same. Just the word is different. Okay? Because in different reference books you are going to get different terms over here. So don't get confused if we have rigidity modulus or shearing modulus. Similarly, we have a bulk modulus as well as volume modulus, and similarly we have a longitudinal modulus or Young's modulus, nothing but the same over here. Okay, so don't get confused. So thank you very much. We'll see in our next class. Thank you.